a CIC Film Studio production.
My name is Greg Manett,
And I am Isaiah Edwards.
and this is the Rethink University podcast. Today, we'll be talking about tertiary education in Trinidad and Tobago with our guest.
Mr. Nigel Bradshaw.
Today, we'll be talking to him about the different aspects of UE St. Augustine, where he's from. He is the UE St. Augustine Admissions Officer and Brand Ambassador, and he is responsible for the development and coordination of and for the recruitment effort at UE St. Augustine. So, Mr. Bradshaw, if I forgot anything to describe your role in UE, fill me in.
Thanks for being here. What I'd really like to just add to persons is I have 14 years in recruitment for UWI, St. Augustine, and UWI in general. 5 campuses strong, interacting with 10,000 plus people every year that are interested in becoming students at some level at the university. That's what I have to add.
Okay, so five campuses. Which campuses are those? I only know about probably Jamaica and Barbados.
Right. So we have 4 physical campuses, right? Starting off in the north with Jamaica at the Mona campus. We have the newest campus, which is the Five Islands campus in Antigua Barbuda. The Cable campus, which used to be the smallest until Five Islands came along, and of course UWI St. Augustine campus. Online only, the global campus exists as well. Incorporated in 2008, they have been offering online study at certificate, diploma, associate degree, bachelor's, master's, and PhD level.
Okay, that's a good intro. So the first question in this: how does UWI's approach to tertiary education differ from that of North American universities, specifically for Caribbean students? So, comparative to US universities, how does a Caribbean student have an advantage, or what differs from a Caribbean student to another student?
Okay, for a Caribbean student at the UWI as compared to a Caribbean student at a university abroad, right? The entrance requirements differ generally, right? The persons will be able to enter utilizing ACTs, SATs for the United States, right? We use the CXC, Caribbean, generally. But there are alternatives if persons want to be able to attend university. We have persons that can qualify with the OSSD and other, which is from out of Canada. We accept SATs and also we accept the UK GCSE equivalents as well. Generally, the 4-year degree is what most persons will find at the North American campuses. We have a 3-year degree generally for most of our programs, other than the medical programs, which are 4-year or 5 years long. Majority of our students at our campuses we'd say native. 96% of the students at St. Augustine campus are from Trinidad and Tobago. You'd find a larger international contingent at institutes abroad, right? Those are some of the things. And of course, but the sociology in terms of the culture that we have at the campus, if it's 96% Trinidadian, anticipate everything that you want to participate in would have some type of Trinidadian/Caribbean flavor. Just the way we speak, and then of course the climate, right, is year-round warm. In North American institutions, you'd have the variance with the different seasons and so on.
Okay, you caught my attention on one thing. So when you say about 4-year degrees, do you see any how to put it, for persons who might want to use UE as a transition to a university away? Mm-hmm. Is there anything put in place for that?
Definitely. What I always tell persons is, right, our curriculum affords persons an opportunity to be able to qualify for study if while studying in the bachelor's degree program, you want to transfer that as possible, and to nearly anywhere in any world that would accept our qualifications, and there are a large number of institutions, more than 20,000 institutions, I feel, would be ready and willing to be able to take persons, especially if there's an English language equivalency at that institution that you move into. Right? If you leave in after a bachelor's degree, you will be able to qualify definitely for postgraduate study at another institution, especially English-speaking institutions.
Okay, cool. So,
So you said to enter UE, you need CSEC qualifications. How would CAPE come into play? Because many students have differing opinions on CAPE, saying it's useless or it's needed.
Can't say that it's useless in this present audience, can I, right? But definitely, what is happening is there is a move towards having where persons look at the other options. And the other options are certificate, diploma, associate degrees, prior learning experience, right? For some persons that are mature, and also to pre-university programs. Like we have the pre-engineering, direct entry into engineering, pre-science for medicine, science and technology, etc. Right? There's no need to force one person to look one way or the other. Every person coming that wants and has an ambition to attend university, especially UWI, that person should make that decision based on their own volition and what they think works best for them. Right? But the thing is, though, it's good to know that regardless of which option you want to choose, there is a bachelor's degree at the end of it. Right? If you choose a certificate or pre-university program, diploma program, it will take you 4 years from Form 5. If you choose the CAPE route, there is the added bonus of being able to utilize bursaries, additional or open scholarships to attend the university as well. Right? So there are advantages all around. It just is determined by the state of mind of the person making the selection at that time.
Good to know my choice for Form 6 was
so you talk about pre-university courses. So my first thing I thought about was, let's say someone is a really good business student and they want to go into sciences. You think it's easier for them to go through UE through the let's say pre-engineering course versus doing SATs and trying to get through to foreign university?
Almost stumped me with that question. Really, really, very good. If you had asked it the other way around, it would be different. But the reality is, a business student trying to enter into science and science applied degree programs would have a challenge utilizing the current matriculation system. Right? The matriculation system for entry into science and science applied programs, and the science and science applied would be engineering, food and agriculture, medical sciences, and science and technology. They all want to see some type of completion of CSEC qualifications in science, right? If entering those programs. The only variance in that would be in the technology programs, IT and computer science, right? Where it is there's not a heavy reliance on having to have science subjects, but definitely they would have to try and take a gap year to get the CSEC equivalents. Let's say if they're looking at engineering and they never did chemistry and physics, they would want to get those subjects completed at CSEC.
Okay. That's interesting. And the presence of N1, well, for those who might not know about it, what does that do? Because I know some other Christians who graduate Form 5 look at that alternative just to give not so detailed, but a detailed understanding of what it is.
All right. It normally could be broken down into 3 points. The N1 program, as the one describes, is 1 year of advanced level science study. Right? The N normally was supposed to denote natural sciences. Right? So you're allowed to choose up to 3 subjects out of biology, chemistry, computer science, physics, and pure math, up to 3 of those, and you work them according to what your needs are in terms of qualifying for a degree program. Right? So Form 5 students normally choose a minimum of 2, a maximum of 3, if we utilize them to qualify, let's say you want to get into medicine, you choose biology, chemistry, and any one of the other three, right? And you do them over 1 year, right? And be able to qualify immediately into a degree program of your choice, right? The grading system is done over 2 semesters, and just in 2 semesters, you have the option to move directly to a bachelor's degree in science, or you can even use the N1 program. We've seen students use it to qualify for law as well, right? So that's an option that you can use.
Okay. Regards to the questions that we would have provided, any of these would have stuck out to you?
Honestly, I just would like to know what it's like to attend UWI. Attending UWI is more of a thing.
All right, so attending university at UWI, it's really and truly, as time goes by, what you see more and more is, my observations are showing me that there are a lot of persons that have not really left high school behind when coming to UWI. And that's normally associated a lot with proximity to home, parents still around, easier and available transport access, and so on. So seeing persons hanging around and after class and that kind of stuff to be involved in different types of activities is not as significant in my time, when the majority of the students would definitely living close to campus or living on campus, right? So that's one of the things. But generally though, you're seeing that there is a lot of attention to creating new types of groups. One thing that you could find out that many people don't know, we have a Jersey Day, or in fact a Jersey Week, right, where everyone wears jerseys associated with the club or the society or academics group that they belong to, right? And also to some of the other types of student groups, like they have student champions that work with me, right? They try to be able to highlight that aspect of the whole thing, right? Among many other things. We have impromptu concerts and stuff. For Carnival, we had a few. We have sports day coming up. We have a lot of different types of activities, but we have a lot of workshops, seminars, and other types of opportunities for persons to come on the campus to see what's happening.
I do remember that. I won the maths fair.
You went to the maths fair?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, last year, not this year.
Yeah, not this year.
Yeah, it was crazy this year. Over 4,000 people are coming in one morning. It was really crazy.
I think we'd like to take a break now.
Yeah, not a problem.
So, that'll be it.
No matter who you are, where you are, or where you're going, Deloitte is there, and there, and even there. We are dedicated to helping people and organizations solve problems, to know faster, to grow farther, to go from red to black to green, creating impact where it matters most.
So I'll be graduating next year, and interested in medical
sciences.
Yeah, medical sciences. What would the admissions process be like for me?
Okay, so that's one of the questions I'm most often asked, because I'll just give you this figure. We annually have over 1,000 persons that would apply for our MBBS program, as a prestigious jewel in the crown of all programs that we have, right? So I'm very accustomed to getting that question. Realistically, you must apply on time, right? Our applications for you will open in November, right, of 2024. The admission is in 2025. Your application, you're allowed 2 programs to apply for. Medicine and surgery, I guess, must be number 1. You could put an alternative choice if you want when completing the form. When you complete the form online, you're required to pay an application processing fee. Once that is paid, you upload supporting documents. The supporting documents that you must upload consist of 3 certificates validating the information that you've entered online. Those certificates would be one to validate your nationality, your birth certificate. The other ones to validate your completion of CSEC, the CSEC certificate, and your CAPE Unit 1 certificate, right? Or preliminary slip according to what is available at the time that you do your application. Then you have 2 non-academic criteria that documents that you submit. There's a requirement of a 250 to 300 word autobiographical sketch, which must be submitted indicating how you came about, making the decision to want to study medicine. And at some point in time, I hope you'd indicate, why you want to study at the UWI St. Augustine campus in medicine, right? So that's the autobiographical sketch. Thereafter, you must submit supplemental sheet number 2. Right, now, supplemental sheet number 2 is very similar to documents that you'd find at any prestigious institution around the world that offers a similar MBBS program, or as it's known in North America, the pre-med program. Right? It allows persons to demonstrate holistic preparation for tertiary education, primarily, but also for studying medicine. So there are 10 areas that persons must verify and validate that they've completed some amount of exposure over the course of 3 to 6 months in different areas. Community service, leadership, in some of the visual and performing arts involvement, also 2 employment experience, foreign language experience, etc.
So basically a showcase of who you are and what you've accomplished.
So, leading off of that point, what are the best ways or the most effective ways students can showcase their strengths and experiences for their university application? That way you would say?
Well, for the medical programs, and 3 of them in particular, medicine and surgery, veterinary medicine, and dentistry, that is what is required. But at the UWI, we primarily go on a merit basis. So if you're applying for the Faculty of Law, just the grades that you have, especially at the advanced level. Now, any student can enter a certificate diploma pre-university program on the strength of having just 5 CSEC passes, including math and English as compulsory, right? Grades 1, 2, or 3. But for the medical program, you need to have very good grades if you want to compete against the 1,000+ persons that are applying, right? For the law program, for the over 700 persons that are applying for 150 places in the program, you'd want also to have strong grades, right? If it is you did a certificate or a diploma or associate degree or you did CAPE, you want to have a GPA for the law program at 3.70 to be able to enter the law program, right? For the medicine program, it's even higher, right? Based on the quality of grades that you need to have, right? So, based on what you asked, Greg, the situation is you start off on a merit basis academically, right? Applicants are allowed to indicate anything else that they want to, but we generally go on the basis of academic merit for the selection of persons to programs.
One thing as well, regards to the degrees that you offer, what are the most popular degrees that persons tend to apply for in UE? That's off the top of your head.
Immediately, medicine and surgery, right? It used to be, the LLB used to be second, but it was supplanted recently by the BSc Pharmacy, right? Then after that, you get any number of engineering programs like petroleum geoscience, chemical and process engineering. You also too then would move to the dentistry program, right? Optometry. Those are programs. But on the Faculty of Social Sciences side, we have ACCA accredited programs in accounting, banking and finance, leadership and management studies. And the more the word gets around that they are accredited and that they are gate approved, more and more people are applying for those programs, right? So those have become very, very popular in terms of persons applying for them. The thing is though, these are programs that are generally what you find at most campuses around the world that people would apply for. The ELM, Engineering, Law, and Medicine, would be the focus at any campus, anywhere in the world, right? And then the business programs. But in between, we have very, very good programs. Like we have a film program that's exceptional in terms of the quality of people that we have created. I mean, everybody here knows someone that has done that film program. He created a film serial of a set of shorts, including characters like his neighbor Narayan, girlfriend Patsy, right? And also two gentlemen that cause him a lot of headaches, even though he has Pastor Stewart, the barbershop crew, right? We know them as a group of people that support Santana, right? Roger Alexis was the person that did that program, and he has done a lot of fabulous work since then, working with STAG, with UNICEF and other groups, right? Coming out of that film program.
Are there any other programs you want to highlight that would be overshadowed by, well, ELM?
Well, kind of biased that way, right? I've been promoting them for a long time, but realistically, food security being a major issue around the world. Like, take for example, during the pandemic, the Chinese government made a decision to look at strengthening food production in China. So they created a national policy in months that they immediately implemented a national institution to be able to develop food security around, right? We need to approach it the same way, and we have more than 100 years of food and agriculture being taught at the St. Augustine campus. More than 100 years. And the beauty about it is we have a lot of native and indigenous type information that has been generated. There are a lot of our agricultural technology, tropical landscape management, human nutrition and dietetics. All of these are high quality programs that are meant to make significant contributions to Trinidad and Tobago society by helping us look at the way in which not just we produce food, but the way in which we consume it, right, to be able to have healthy lives and increase our quality of life. Right?
That same topic was for my comms, believe it or not.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You should approach me before. Can I help you out?
I really should have.
So, next question. What are some misconceptions about attending regional universities like UE? And how does reality differ?
Okay, so one of the misconceptions I think for a lot of people is that the degrees are not challenging, right? That it would be easy because you got in, you think that you applied, you got in fairly easily and so on, that there's no challenge. But I can tell you, and I'd say this a lot for engineering students, for future engineering students, the work is going to be significantly complex, right? While still interesting and meant to be able to stimulate your mind in terms of thinking around the way in which we look at our built environment, the way in which we design stuff to suit our way of life, the way in which we manage and sustain our living environment and so on, right? All of this comes out of the Faculty of Engineering, and that Faculty of Engineering, the significant number of credits on an annual basis that a student has to complete, right, means that it's going to be pretty challenging in your time management, right? So once you're very disciplined with time management, you'll be very successful. But if you're not, you're going to have to start to work on it. And being right now, present here at CIC, where it's an all-male environment, as the only faculty on our campus that still has a significant, it's Faculty of Sports similarly too, where we have a large number of males, to have people give strong consideration to looking at your time management skills. If you're looking at the Faculty of Engineering, but also for all the faculties, success comes from the discipline of time management and not necessarily just being able to have a photographic memory or anything like that. Time management is critical once you're a university student.
Alrighty, well, that brings us to the end of our next 10-minute segment. I appreciate it.
No problems.
Are you in secondary school and not interested in doing Form 6? Did you know that at COSTAT, you can build your future skills and do your associates after Form 5? You can even begin the application process before you get your CSEC results. And not just one or two programs. Choose from over 80 available programs such as Information Technology, Psychology, General Nursing, Graphic Design, and many more. Visit our website to see the available programs for this semester. Want an alternative to Form 6? Maximize your time. Jump right into your new college life at COSTAT.
Okay, so we were talking off camera a little bit, and Mr. Bradshaw highlighted that there might be some lesser known hacks about getting into UE. So if you feel comfortable, you mind divulging a little bit, so to help students who might be on the cusp of going to UE but are still might be missing a subject or want to have a little edge to get into UE.
Right. The basic hack number starts off with knowing what is required for any program. Right. One of the things that we see most often, as I could tell you right now, engineering students that haven't done chemistry at CSEC, medicine students that haven't done physics at CSEC, right, which are compulsory subjects. Okay. Generally, one of the hacks that most people employ, while especially Cape students, they do them privately, right, while in lower six or in upper six, right, to be able to get that opportunity to be able to meet the what we call lower level matriculation, which is at the CSEC level, for entry to the program, right? So once you've completed that, you're good to go. For Cape students that want to sometimes switch options, right? Like let's say you've done CSEC science subjects and then you went into business, right? But then you change your mind again and you want to now do something that is science related. The pre-science or the N1 programs we previously discussed would allow you to be able to now spend an additional year doing the science subjects to be able to qualify for that program. But also too, sometimes we have so many different challenges. I remember visiting one school, another denominational school, and a young man was unfortunately affected by COVID in his lower sixth year. And out of the three subjects, the three 2-unit subjects that he did in his lower sixth year, he only was able to complete both all the exams for one. So what I was able to prescribe for him was, all right, instead of trying to repeat the subjects, both Unit 1 and Unit 2, and then do Unit 2 in that subject that you did, you were able to get the results for in lower six. Come to university and do a certificate program that would allow you in the same year to meet all the requirements without the significant number of exams you'd have to write for CAPE, right, at the school. Understood? So, I mean, in terms of the fact that he already had an ambition to attend the university, that's why I offered it to him, right? Also, too, you see a number of students that apply for very popular programs like the medicine and surgery program, and for whatever reason, something trips you up and you don't get the grade that is required to enter the program. Again, the pre-science program would allow you the opportunity to rewrite that specific subject that you didn't get the required grade in, right? And add it to the other subjects that you've passed with the required grades and enter the program that you want. You just have to be prepared to spend an additional year, right? Students too, that I remember there was one situation with a young man who had physics and chemistry and biology at Cape, right? But not pure math, which is compulsory for engineering, right? So instead of trying to find an opportunity to do pure math again, I encourage him to consider the pre-engineering program, which would have allowed him, saying that he had already done Ad Math and CSEC, to be able to have the opportunity to move on. And he was able to get into the program. He's completing the first year of the program now that he wanted to do in engineering. So call me the angel of hope in the fact that I am prepared to assist every student that has already made up their mind that they want to attend university, you want to attend the UWI, can help you out in being able to reconnoiter your path and your progress towards being able to do a degree at the university, utilizing everything that we put in place to ensure that people have that opportunity.
Definitely will be giving you a call sometime next year.
Well, I want you to give me a call to tell me, sir, I got in first try.
So UE isn't the only university. There's, for like we just say, Trinidadians right now. There's USC and UTT. Right. What are the differences you would say for UTT and this, for example?
All right. The differences, first of all, I don't really want to make it seem as if there's much difference in quality for the programs. ACTT has already ensured that the quality for all the programs at all the universities here in Trinidad and Tobago match the requirement for what Trinidad and Tobago needs from the graduates. Okay, so one of the things that I'd like to say that would be different is we have a specifically set up physical campus for UWI St. Augustine, which is built on 577 acres, right? A pristine green space that is supposed to match anyone's need for, that holistic environment and ecosystem to participate in academia and also to activities supporting academia, right? Just like any quality institution anywhere in the world. We spend a lot of time keeping this space meticulously prepared for all our students and all our staff as well for that purpose. The other campuses don't have as large a single physical campus as you would find at St. Augustine campus. They may have more city-type campuses like what you find with UTT, which might suit the needs of certain persons. And then at USC, it's a smaller campus that's tucked away nicely in the foothills in Maracas St. Joseph Valley, right? But it's smaller, right? As compared to a person that wants something that is a little larger, because we have 11,000 plus undergraduate students, right? That as well too means that you have a lot of opportunities for hybridization, for meeting persons, and with multiple different interests across the globe, across the region, across the country, and find different students at our campus. Especially at UTT, you won't find that if that is what you're looking for. And at USC is a much smaller student population, right? So just not saying that it compares favorably one way or the other, but that's some of the differences between the campuses. All right. First, we must always remember the inspiration behind the sustainability of the University of West Indies, which is it's about uncovering the potential of Caribbean people, but also to allowing the Caribbean experience to become part of the global experience, right? So anyone that's coming here would find that nearly all of our content is meant to be able to either stimulate what is taking place in the Trinidad and Caribbean ecosystem in the subject area, right? Or to add to it in terms of new information, new data, and that type of stuff, right? So, and that is truth about any university. Take, for example, Harvard was developed for the jurisdiction that it served originally, right? Which would be in New England states in North America, right? Very similar that you'd find in any university. It's always about a jurisdictional arrangement, and that jurisdictional arrangement is to a large extent what goes into the accreditation process. The accreditation process is about being able to serve a specific grouping of people in a specific jurisdiction or niche geographically, right? So that's one of the things that you'd find with us. But generally, we as a Caribbean institution, you can anticipate that when you graduate from our programs, you would be very much able to find opportunity for employment, right? But remember also too, universities were not meant to be able to create jobbers or persons for employment. They're meant to be able to create researchers first and foremost, right? It's persons that will be able to create and analyze and provide data. Those types of people are what you expect to come out of any type of university situation, right? So those are the types of people we create. Generally, though, those skills are very much in demand in the marketplace. And for a person that has the ability to see the gaps that exist for them to be able to express themselves within that topic, the gaps that they know exist, would be able to possibly bring themselves into focus in the middle of a job interview, right? It's not necessarily just the quality of the grades that you had when you graduated. You could have first class honors and still not be as competitive as somebody that is like an upper second class or a lower second class, right? It's all about the individual and their ability to be able to shape, right, the minds of the persons that are interested in having them join their group, right, as an employee or as someone that is a partner or otherwise, right? That's very much important in considering what happens after having a degree.
Alrighty. So to wrap up, I just want to ask you if you can let us know about. Actually, let me rephrase that. So, in my research with universities abroad, I see programs with like exchange programs. So let's say St. John's University, they have a campus in Rome, but I know this is a University of the West Indies. What would be the equivalent to an exchange program? Would it be with other universities, or would it be between the campuses, or do you have it in general?
We have it in both instances, actually, right? We have whereby you could go to another campus. If you attain a GPA 3.0, right, and you apply to go to another campus to continue in the same program for a minimum of 1 semester, you actually get free accommodation at that campus, right, and other perks in terms of being able to go there. One of the big things I think that anyone would want to do that for is being able to meet lecturers that you wouldn't necessarily meet at your campus. Not saying that we don't have great lecturers and faculty at the St. Augustine campus, but just to be able to get different perspectives of 1 semester in the same program, right? Also to be able to enhance your network of the amount of people that you would meet, that would be your colleagues in the classroom and that kind of stuff, right? Or the cultural arrangement. If you go to Mona, it's a much larger campus. You go to Keyville, it's right overlooking one of the best beaches you could find in the Caribbean, that overlooks the Caribbean Sea, right? Those types of situations might be something that drives people in terms of the way they make the decision in terms of where they want to go. We also do have multiple partnerships and always have more and more institutions approaching us to build student exchanges. I remember hosting a gentleman from Greece, very long name, can't remember it right now, but he was representing University of Portsmouth in England, and they were very much interested in being able to develop a program between the University of Portsmouth and the St. Augustine campus, right, in terms of student exchanges. We have student exchanges across 5 continents around the world, with more than 70 different institutions are actively engaged for us to be able to do that, right? You raise a point about St. John's and them having a campus in another country. The UWI, through the advent of our Deputy Vice Chancellor, it's Sir Hilary Beckles, he has done a lot of work in building a number of different partnerships around the world. So we have similar arrangements in South Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in North America, and Oceania as well, right? Where students can participate now in multiple different learning arrangements, undergraduate and postgraduate, right? With UWI abroad, really and truly.
So, and would this go for the research opportunities as well?
Definitely. For research opportunities, you find that many of our research students, if you're doing an MPhil program, right, you could be part of a group of persons that are working in a cross-functional way, providing research that goes into a paper that is delivered somewhere outside of Trinidad and Tobago, right, somewhere in the Caribbean, somewhere in Latin America, somewhere in Africa, right, and have that opportunity to start again to become sought after amongst your peers for the type of work that you're doing. And it's about being able to expose our students that way. And to put in a plug for Dr. Brian Coburn and the Faculty of Science and Technology, they'll be doing a lot of great work in terms of the way in which research students in science and technology are able to now stride around the world, right, and go into institutions like Princeton and elsewhere and partner with persons in different types of research in the life sciences and other types of areas, right? And that's something that I think for a lot of students that primarily thought about science only for engineering and medical sciences, if you like the pure sciences, chemistry, physics, life sciences, biochemistry, etc., there's a great opportunity for you to be able to add new dimensions, the way in which we view that right here in UWI, and be able to get a global perspective at the same time, global experience.
All right, so that should probably wrap it up. If you have any final words or anything you plan to say for the podcast, so our demographic, we're aiming for generally secondary students looking to graduate. Other than what you said today, anything that you would want them to know about tertiary education in general, that be specific to UE?
Specific to the UWI?
No, that doesn't have to be specific. It's
doesn't have to be
just anything in general that would mostly assist them.
Well, I really want to thank you all as a group of students, young men, right here at CIC for giving me the opportunity to be able to come in and speak in this way. Right? It really warms my heart to know that young men are this interested in tertiary education. I'll tell you why. There's one number that says otherwise, 70. Right? 70 is the percentage of females that we have at our campus. Right? I'm not against young women participating in education, of course, right? I mean, I come from a family where it is 5 women that were around me at all times, right? But the reality is, we need to see more focus on young men participating in higher education to be able to create a balance in the society, because Professor Rhoda Reddock, who was at one, you all would know her as someone that you'd have seen in social studies textbooks and that kind of stuff. She was also the deputy campus principal at our campus, and she used to state quite a lot that it was imperative that we were able to find methodologies that would bring more young men to the St. Augustine campus, right? And I'm really happy that I was able to be here today, because I think this may work towards being able to help us achieve that. Right? Hats off to you all in terms of the incredible work you all have done to be able to bring this to fruition, right? And for all the young men out there that are hearing this, right? I am here to be able to assist any one of you that might feel intimidated or otherwise and wanting to be able to become part of a great Caribbean tradition of excellence, right? UWI is for men and women, right? And we'd love to see more gentlemen come and be part of the experience.
So that'll wrap it up. Also, before we will add your information to wherever we post this podcast, but just if you'd like to provide any way to contact you, so any of our listeners would be able to contact you.
I love when people email me. I am an email titan. Right? The reason being is that it gives you an opportunity to be able to have accurate information that I source off of the website, and also from some of our faculty who assist me in being able to ensure that you get quality information, also to student affairs admissions, right, with also to support in that way. So my email address is all lowercase, my first name dot surname, Nigel .Bradshaw, and the suffix at sta, as in St. Augustine, .uwi.edu, as in education. Send me an email. Within 48 hours or less, you get a response that is meant to be able to support you in getting your information to make a decision about attending the University of the West Indies.
All right. I really appreciate your time. This was a lovely 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So
yeah, it was really very good. Thanks a lot for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Rethink University podcast. We want to thank our co-sponsors Deloitte and Costat. Join us again for our future episodes. Please subscribe and share to spread the word, and remember, reframe your mind, redefine your path, and repurpose your skills.